Hang in
Dude,
there. It is.
that's Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
Welcome back to The Smylie Show, a third day of our President's Cup Journal. As Smylie, apologies to all of our YouTube and TV viewers. The motion sickness cam Smylie just gave you right there, getting his camera set up. Although I'm a repeat offender there, so I really can't criticize too much. I'm Charlie Hulme. He is Smylie Kaufman, fresh off a long day, a double session that began in the fog. There was a delay out of Royal Montreal. Smylie had one of the all-time calls on a Golf Channel or NBC broadcast where Tony Finau hits his tee shot. He said, I got no clue where it's going. We got back after it in that four-ball session, then, of course, closed up with foursomes today. Both sessions won by the Americans 3-1. Considerable shift from the intrigue we saw on both Thursday and Friday with two 5-0 sweeps. So, Smylie, this one could be short and sweet. We got to get you rested up for singles tomorrow. But let's just start with just overall reflections on the day and how it went. And, was it weird just watching what felt like a more normal President's Cup environment after what happened on Thursday and Friday?
It was just, this afternoon was absolutely bonkers. What makes zero sense to me is why best ball has hardly any juice. I don't get it. And the guys just don't play well with their own golf ball. They seem to play better with somebody else's golf ball and playing half the shots. None of it makes sense, but the foursomes has been just absolutely epic the last 2 days. But just an incredible day, man. Just the roars across this golf course, they didn't stop the entire afternoon. Morning was a bit slow, but there just weren't a whole lot of birdies made this morning.
Yeah, there really weren't, and that was, I guess, strange to see after the way, it really was it was the Americans on Thursday and the internationals on Friday playing exceptional golf and making a lot of putts, and there was a struggle, it seemed, in the morning and that four-ball session for either side to make putts. One of the guys that was making some of those putts and celebrating them greatly to kind of get the crowd pumped up, which I have no problem with, I love it, was Tom Kim. And you and I were just sitting down to record this and saw some interesting quotes pop up on the internet. So I want to read you two questions and answers that were posed to Tom Kim and get your reaction to both of these. So the first question was, and Tom sitting at a podium with Taylor Pendrith and Siwoo Kim. So the question is, for all three of you, it was obviously a long, emotional, exhausting day. Did you guys feel like you had plenty of gas left at the end, or was it hard to kind of push through? Tom takes this one to answer, and he says, I think the start of the round was definitely a little harder, but as it got towards the end, it got a little feisty out there. I could hear some players cursing at us. That part wasn't really, I don't think there was good sportsmanship there, but it's all part of the fun. I understand it. So the U.S. team definitely motivated us to go out there. And then another question he's asked to follow up. Tom, I know the wound is still fresh, but it's trying to read your body language. It almost seems like there's some anger, or is it frustration? If it is anger, does that have anything to do with some of the sportsmanship issues you were referring to? Tom answers, no, absolutely not. I do it too. You see me out there throwing fist pumps and jumping on the green. It's all part of it. I get it. I just don't think there's a need to look at someone and curse at them. I just don't think there's a need for it. I understand it. I don't get hurt about it. My feelings don't hurt at all. I hope there's no negative comments. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I just feel like there's always little things like, what could I have done better? It's just certain things like that. I put my partner in some tough positions, and that to me is the most frustrating part of the day. He and I talked about when we got down early, let's just push it to 18. Obviously we did, and they had to play good to beat us, so claps to them. Your thoughts?
I'm just picturing what player. I mean, there's so many players that just come to mind. I can just see him just like slow mo, like F you, just like in a slow mo with Tom Kim. I don't know. Are you believing it? Are you believing that at all? Personally, I just don't see in what context, like where you would hear a player say it to you. Like I just don't see when and where that would actually happen. I can maybe understand it after a big celebration, but in that circumstance, it would be so loud you wouldn't hear them. So I don't know. I don't know how it happened.
I generally subscribe to the if you can't take it, don't dish it out camp of these sorts of things. And I'd love to watch the video of this from Tom to kind of get a better feeling of, body language and tone and things like that, because, and he says it in the transcript here as well, that look, I get it. It's part of the competition. I just don't understand why you bring it up at all, because that the internet's going to react to it in this way. They're going to pull the transcript, they're going to pull the quotes, they're going to tweet it out, and people are going to react to it. And I felt like I've been loving the energy that Tom Kim's brought to the President's Cup all week long. I thought the way they finished that morning match with Siwoo Kim with the most aggressive walk-in since we saw Tiger do it in the singles match against Abe Answer at the President's Cup was phenomenal. And I think this competition, we've talked a lot about how do you reinvent it? Do you change the format? What can you do to make people care about this at least close to the same way they care about the Ryder Cup? And Tom has been a central figure in caring about this in a huge, huge way that makes people react to it. And so I guess I just don't get the back end of then sitting at a podium saying, I don't like when those guys got fired up and cursed at us or whatever. I mean, okay, let's go real galaxy brain here. Maybe this is even an even bigger play where he knows this is going to incite more people talking about it, and he's doing it to get more and more people riled up at the President's Cup. I don't know. That's the only thing I can take away from this and make a guess at.
I don't know. I think the only people seeing these comments are just golf Twitter, right? So I don't think it's that big of a deal to bring in an audience. But I just think this has been a great experience. I think every single day the fan experience has grown and grown. They've started adding, instead of the scoreboards out there, they've put just the live stream of the golf, and it's totally changed how the fans have viewed it because they're able to watch the golf out there. They know what's going on. The first day, all they were showing was on the leaderboard where the group that was on that hole and what the match was, but you could only they never switched it to the other matches. So really, all you saw was, for instance, if it was Patrick Cantley and Xander Schauffele, all you saw was their match play record. They kept going from like screen to screen, and then you would see what that match was at. But the last couple of days, they've changed those to just full-on coverage of the golf, and it is
can I ask you there?
Changed.
Is that what you're saying? Just so I understand better, is it on each of the holes where there's a match going on, they're showing the broadcast, like the Golf Channel broadcast. So on the leaderboard, like on the scoreboards. So you could be watching a match, or you could be on a hole where there isn't a match there yet, and fans can be reacting to what's happening there as well. That's a good move. I like that a lot.
Well, that's what the Ryder Cup does, and they have actually bigger screens than the PGA Tours. But still, this was how you make it an incredible experience, because you would hear the oohs and the ahs while you're on the green with something that happened on a prior hole or a big putt made, and then you could hear the celebration from the crowd on a hole in which you're about to watch a big moment unfold. So there was a lot of that this afternoon, and I had an opportunity to watch Corey Connors and Mackenzie Hughes 2 days in a row and this alternate shot stuff. And I think what I've kind of decided, I feel like, for these two is that they need to, first off, I think they need to turn pro and just force, like, as a foursome pairing. Like, they need to discontinue their career as a solo artist, and they need to enter PGA Tour events as either Corey Hughes or Mackenzie Connors. And
McConnors, just one word.
Mackenzie
like
Connors has a better ring to it.
It's it's a good creative player name.
This is the perfect golf course for these two together, because the odd holes, like we've talked about ad nauseum, are where you're hitting the iron shots. And today, or excuse me, I should say this afternoon, they played Colin Morikawa and Sam Burns. So you have Corey Connors and Colin Morikawa, two just incredible iron players. And then you have Mackenzie Hughes and Sam Burns, who Mackenzie's drivers is not there right now, not in the slot whatsoever. But my goodness, this man could putt, and same with Sam Burns. And I think the difference of this match came down to was Sam Burns. I feel like he was the X factor, because he hit a couple. Really, he drove it incredible today, and I felt like Mackenzie's tee shots is what kind of got them in trouble at times, and that ultimately I felt like was the difference of this whole of that match.
I want to ask you about, we talked a little bit last night about Mike Weir. Thursday night we're looking at his pairings, we're reacting to those, we can't figure out why Tom Kim's not playing on Friday, and then they go out and they win 5-0
on Thursday.
Yeah,
like we had a lot of issues with what was going on.
And then they go out and they win 5-0. And you kind of there's a point there where you're saying, all right, I may not understand it at face value, but clearly he has like a method here. He has a reasoning behind this sort of stuff. So he's going to do what he's going to do, and you got to kind of trust it. What are your thoughts on just playing the same 8 guys in all the sessions today on Saturday? Because just looking at the way these matches trended, in that Scotty Scheffler Russell Henley match against Hideki Matsuyama and Sung Jae Im, the internationals are up through 11 holes, and then they give it away. I mean, they lose the 12th hole, they tie the 13th hole, they lose the 14th hole, they lose the 15th hole, and they lose the 16th to lose 3-2. Just looks like they run out of juice a little bit there. Now, of course, Taylor Pendrith and Adam Scott, they win their match 2-up. But then in that Corey Connors Mackenzie Hughes match, they come out firing. They birdie their first 3 holes. Looks like they might run away with that thing. They go on to lose 1-up, even though they keep it close. And then we just read quotes from Tom Kim talking about how at the end of the day, he felt like he kind of ran out of energy, having played, both those sessions that day, and highly emotional matches in both of those. Do you wonder at all if whether they could have employed a different strategy for the internationals in the afternoon, because it looks like some of those guys maybe ran out of gas at the end of the day?
Well, it seemed like to me the consensus from just everybody that had watched the morning was that the 2 players that struggled the most from the international team were the 2 Canadians and Mackenzie Hughes and Taylor Pendrith. But hey, listen, Mackenzie Hughes played unbelievable this afternoon. And, Taylor Pendrith, from what I understand, did not play very well this afternoon. It was more of Adam Scott playing tremendously well. So now that we can play Monday morning quarterback and look at what happened in the afternoon, we could still second guess the pairings. And the only one I would say that I would have probably put out there was Jason Day. He was the one guy that I felt like definitely didn't need to be sat twice, especially with the incredible chip shot that he hit on 18 on Friday night just to get that half. But maybe I think Mike Weir's really relied on his stats and analytics in all of this, because I think Jason Day, for him, I think he had Seabez and him paired up analytically, and maybe he didn't pair up well with anybody else. And it's unfortunate for Jason Day and the fact that he didn't get to play today. But you would have liked to have seen, Jason out there, because I do feel like for the internationals to win one of these, you need your stars to show up. And Jason Day is a star. He's a major winner. He's been there, especially, what he's capable of when you give him an opportunity to make some putts, especially in a foursome setup. So definitely a little unfortunate that he didn't get to play, but I would have subbed him for either Taylor Pendrith or Mackenzie Hughes, and I would probably set him for Pendrith, and they won their match. So they lost all the other ones.
If I'm looking distracted over here, I am distracted. I'm attempting to listen to a live feed. The captain's picks are being made right now for singles matches. I'm seeing some of the pairings trickle out because I can't quite get this live stream to
just
work.
wait for them all to go through, and then they'll be done here in a minute.
We see Tom Kim, Sam Burns. That's one match we see. So that'll be an interesting one.
Don't spoil it. I want it all at once.
You want it all at once?
Yeah,
okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll wait. What did you think of, just kind of the way that Furyk responded to that 5-0 loss yesterday? I mean, did you like the lineups he put out? Looked like he had a good mix. There was, I think, Sahith Theegala, I believe, is the one guy who sat the entire day, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there were any others on that side. And it looked like that match with Colin Morikawa, he makes that birdie to close it out. But you think that's fair on his side to have sat Sahith for the entire session on Saturday?
I think it's, yes. The one player that I thought this morning should have had a chance to play was maybe Russell Henley. He was the one guy that I said, you know what, I could see a scenario in which Russell Henley plays and Patrick Cantlay sits. And if I recall, did Patrick Cantlay win this morning? I believe he did with Sam Burns.
Yes.
So Patrick Cantlay had a 2-0 day. He obviously found his swing this morning and this afternoon from struggling with his game a bit on Friday. But the guy that we haven't talked about enough, who's been the MVP and undefeated so far, is Sam Burns. 3-0 in this President's Cup. He looked unbelievable out there today. The combination of him and Colin Morikawa, it's the best combo I've seen as a pairing that just like, whoa, this makes sense. Because when Sam drives it good and Colin's ironing, like Sam's putting is light years better than so many of the other players. It's just I really hope to see that team of those two again.
Well, and that's interesting too. It's because we're learning something about a lot of the guys on this team. And we talked about last night just the fact that Russell Henley, a lot of guys in the world, on the American side, could pair with Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he's the best player in the world. It shouldn't be overwhelmingly difficult to pair with Scotty Scheffler. But last, two competitions, Ryder Cup in Rome and the President's Cup at Quail Hollow, Scotty and Sam, just for whatever reason, didn't work out for them. I know they ran into some tough opponents here and there. Sam played well. Scotty maybe didn't play as well. But now, to your point, we found a good partner for Sam Burns and Colin Morikawa, and it looks like we found one for Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley. So I just wonder if there are and Xander and even Xander and Patrick Cantlay. We split those guys up in the morning. They were successful. Now they come back, make a big birdie on 18 to close that match and win that one. But I wonder if we're going to see. I wonder how this affects team composition for the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black, especially.
We're gonna go there. Are we gonna go there right now?
I mean,
after a 36 hole day, you want me to take my mind to Bethpage?
I'm trying to get us to these Sunday singles matches. However much filibustering I need to do, I'm trying to get us there.
No, you don't need to do any of that. I just think we just need to touch on just highlights from favorite moments from today. Personally, it's crazy to me we've made it this far and we haven't talked about Siwoo's chip that he hit on 16.
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, I heard it in my ear. I'm in the golf cart driving back to the TV compound and I hear Dan Hicks say, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm just thinking, what possibly could have just happened? And I get back to the compound and I see Siwoo running across the green with the night, like with the Steph Curry night.
The Steph Curry. Love it so much. Phenomenal.
This is so good, man.
Yeah. A great moment. I mean, I think that's the thing and that's why this whole Tom Kim quote controversy is interesting. I don't know if it's a full blown controversy yet, but those two guys are bringing the energy for this side. Because I think that if you're looking at some of the other star players or kind of stalwarts, Hideki Matsuyama and Sung J M have brought. They've played well. They've won at least a match, and they brought good energy. But there's sort of like that language barrier there where you don't kind of get it to translate to an American audience of understanding their passion and them kind of expressing that. Yeah. I think Adam Scott is obviously a more subdued guy, a phenomenal leader, a huge locker room presence, but a more subdued guy. So those two guys bringing the energy has really done a lot for elevating the intrigue in this President's Cup. And yeah, that chip is just it's a really cool moment in this whole thing.
Yeah, just all the putts that Siwoo and Tom Kim made, just the duo make, like you'll see one guy get hot, but both guys were hot with the putter. The bunker shot that I saw Mackenzie Hughes make at the 13th hole for Eagle, I'm standing right on top of the green. I'm sitting right next to Colin and Sam Burns, and they had just hit a very nice shot to 10 feet from a very shitty lie. And I tell you what, just that place and some of the dance moves and jumping around I was seeing from all the international fans and team that was out there watching, it was like I was watching a movie. It was just incredible watching this ball from 4 feet out, watching Mackenzie Hughes' face light up and just watching what his celebration was about to be. He makes it, starts to run after it, trips over a mic, and this just has no idea what to do with his hands and his body. Just a incredible scene. And man, I'm never going to forget that moment. I know Mackenzie Hughes isn't going to forget that moment either.
How would you compare the Saturday atmosphere to the Friday atmosphere? You think it took another step up, especially after the 5-0 win, or spread over two sessions with a different?
It's, there was so many great moments on Friday, and there was so many great moments on Saturday afternoon. It just, and I think this is the story, is what this American team was able to do on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon to pull out just to win both sessions. I think at different times of the day, it really felt like that the internationals would either have the sessions or have a chance to win some sessions. So you got to give so much credit to the Americans, because there was times where the momentum was on that international side, where we could be looking at, instead of a 4-point lead for the United States, there was a chance for the internationals to not only be tied heading into Sunday, but even having a lead. It was that tight and contested on Saturday.
Yeah, it's so interesting how, we the composition of those Thursday and Friday matches. Like, obviously those Thursday matches were close, could have gone either way. It ends up 5-0. The man's got the pairings.
I got the pairings.
Let's stop right there. Let's rip the pairings. Let's react.
All right, we got Jason Day taking on Xander in match 1. Match 2, Tom Kim versus Sam Burns. That is really sad. You can't pair Tom Kim up with one of his friends. Like, we needed Tom Kim versus Patrick Cantlay. Let's be real here.
Well, that's
a big mistake.
That's the even better part of it is Tom Kim and Scotty Scheffler talking trash. I think that kind of adds more to it.
Sam Burns. Tom's playing Sam Burns.
I know, but I'm saying those are buddies too. They're all buddies. It brings out the best in them.
Well, he can wave at his buddy in the group behind him, because Scotty Scheffler's playing Hideki Matsuyama. Popcorn.
Okay.
That's a popcorn group in group 3.
Love that.
All right. Sung Jae versus Russell Henley in group 4. So right off the bat, seeing Xander, Sam, and Scotty go in the first 3 groups, they have front loaded the lineup. They want to get this thing rolling early with the U.S. on the board. So Sung Jae versus Henley in match 4. Match 5, Taylor Pendrith versus Cantlay. Si Woo in match 6 versus Keegan. Corey Connors versus Tony Finau. Min Woo Lee taking on Wyndham Clark. Ben On versus Sahith Theegala. Adam Scott versus Colin Morikawa. Love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Seabez versus Brian Harmon. And Mac Hughes versus Max Homa to finish it out.
What are your initial takeaways as to the way they've constructed those lineups? You see any sort of strategy,
front
idea?
Loaded, just front loaded, man.
Yeah.
Front loaded. And it's going to be a miracle for the internationals to win tomorrow. Just, they've got to steal some matches, early. They've got to take 2 or 3. They need 2.5 points in those first 3 matches, it feels like to me. And then the rest of the way, it seems not as much 50-50, but I think you can still give advantages to the Americans in most of those matches. But that you start to get into the part of the lineup that there's questions on performance, and some guys that didn't play very much golf. But you also run into the part of the lineup, the internationals, that hadn't played golf since Friday,
right?
And some since Thursday.
Yeah, that part of it is really interesting, just looking at this and trying to kind of figure out, because you got Jason Day leading off, who's fresh after sitting out all Saturday, but Tom Kim's coming off a double session today, and obviously didn't play Friday, but still was talking about how tired he was at the end of Saturday. Hideki, same for him. Sung Jae Im, same for him. Taylor Pendrith, same for him. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I have my eye on a couple that I'm excited to watch, like Min Woo Lee and Wyndham Clark just mashing the golf ball. That's going to be a really fun one.
Yeah, I think listen, these are great. These are great pairings. You get a lot of juice early in the day. So as soon as you turn it on, you don't have to wait to watch Xander, Scotty Scheffler. They're out early, so that'll be fun to really dive in to see how this thing's going to go. Because if you see American flags on the board early in this deal, it could be a blowout.
It is 11-7 now, of course. What is your score prediction for final after tomorrow?
I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm going to go with 19. Dude, I'm so brain dead. How many points would they get? Is it 12? 19-12?
19-11.
19-11.
30.
I can't do math right now, y'all. Like, it's been a long day. Woke up at 4.
I love it.
Will you ever see how many steps I took today? How many steps do you think I took?
25,000.
27,000.
Wow.
27,000 steps today.
Steps. So Smylie has 19-12, which is to be the first time to be a 19-12 score history of President's Cup. So he's got history, writing history tomorrow.
19-12 seemed so right to me. That just seemed like such a great final score.
It's good. The internationals get a kicker point for just, for the excitement. They get a kicker point for winning the Friday session after being down 0-5. So.
All right. That seems a little too. Actually, no, I'm not going to change my score because I'm going to do bad math on it. So I'm just going to keep my score there.
I love
19-12.
We'll make a big graphic of that for the socials. I initially had 17-13. I'm gonna bump it to 18-12. Yeah, so
that math checks out. There you go.
That math checks there. I've had the benefit of hearing your math and then doing some quick on the fly number adjustments.
Did Duke end up being North Carolina?
Duke v. North Carolina.
That sucks.
I'm just so sick of this
Here
regime.
We go.
Fire everybody, dude. I mean, it's a joke.
Everybody.
Yeah, what a great way to lead into a rivalry week with Duke, where your head coach tries to quit after letting JMU hang 70 points on you at home, and then and then we're not going to let the players talk to the media all week. That's for a different podcast. I'm so sick of this football team.
Wow, LSU scored already. It's 7-0. How do we score? What did we do?
That's what I'd give to be an LSU football fan. Oh, right
71-yard touchdown. Let's go.
Let me just wrap things up by saying big thanks to Ahead as always. Ahead, we've done a lot with them this week, and we just want to just continue saying thank you to them. And check out ahead.com to accelerate your impact. If you're looking to build or manage a digital platform. And big thanks to Recovery Pen.
Somebody needs it, and it's this guy. I need it so bad tonight.
I'll say another dog jog today, another Recovery Pen session before and after. And my wife, who is on the verge of giving birth and who thinks it may be as early as tomorrow, is having some headaches related to the pregnancy. I said, you know what Smiley's been talking about? The pen on the head, give it a shot. It worked.
It worked. Way.
I'm telling this thing is, we're getting a lot of mileage.
They said it was like a migraine headache remedy.
Right in the back here. She gets some kind of like right in there and just
really
trigger point. Yeah, actually the funny thing
is, Google where to do it? Or
I just said, Smiley like tried it and he liked it. And so let's give it a shot. And actually we have to wrap this episode up because she texted me and she wants me to bring it downstairs for her so she can use it again. How about that? That's about as good as an endorsement as I can give for the product. So big Recovery Pen household now.
Wow, there you go. There you have it.
TheRecoveryPen.com. Check it out. Well worth it.
Okay.
That's all I got, Smiley. I'd ask you your final thoughts, but I feel like 19-12 is all you got for us.
Yeah, no. And my only final thoughts are I'll be here tomorrow night for the full recap. And maybe y'all are at the hospital. I might just talk to a camera for, I don't know. We might see you tomorrow. We might not.
I badly want to do an episode from the hospital chair, like the dad chair in the hospital. And I think Amanda's coming around.
I just want to hear the hospital beeps. That is all I need to hear is the hospital beeps.
Yes. I think it could be a good play.
Nurse,
we'll see where we're at.
Nurse, this can wait. This can wait.
Can somebody else help her with the breathing? Because I got to record a President's Cup recap. So
yeah, are you aware of the annexation of Puerto Rico? I mean, come on, let's be real.
Come on now. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting timeline we're entering now. But let's hope we get it in. Either way,
yeah,
one of us will see you here tomorrow.
You know what I need right now? I need a shower. So I'm gonna go do that.
I need to shower myself from the stench of this football program. I'm done watching college football this season. See everybody next year. And we'll see you right here tomorrow night. Thanks for watching and listening. Talk to you soon.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our lovely fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too. So please keep it up.
For all the good people of YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the